What's up, everybody? It's your girl Tamika, and I just wanted to just have a conversation with you guys. Yeah, I know this. I got y'all really close today, but I'm just sitting in my room here thinking about a lot of things, and I just got questions, and I know y'all don't have the answers to them, but I just felt compelled to get online because what's going on in this world? It's a lot, y'all. It's a lot. And I'm all out of options. I'm all out of solutions. So I just got to put this out here and maybe somebody can help me figure this out. Maybe y'all can drop something in the comments. Maybe y'all could, I don't know, give me an answer. So, as you guys know, in the mix of us living amidst a health crisis here in our country, we just, in Minneapolis, witnessed an innocent man, George Floyd, get brutally murdered by a police officer over what allegedly was a counterfeit $10 or $20 bill. And I'm just like, I was already devastated after seeing the video, but then when people started rioting, I'm not just talking rioting. I mean, we have buildings burning everywhere. They're rioting day after day. They're destroying cities day after day, not just Minneapolis. It's been spread to LA, Houston, DC, Atlanta. I live in Detroit, and for the past 2 days, they have been rioting. I live in downtown Detroit. So when I tell you I've heard gunshots, uh, yelling, tear gas being thrown. I live on the 12th floor, and I still felt like I was in the middle of World War III. And our protests weren't nearly as brutal as the ones that has been getting all the media attention, okay? That's just number one. So it's very scary. And then you have a lot of these celebrities and a lot of people who think like these celebrities, including myself, because I see where they're coming from, which is why I'm going to bring up this question. A lot of people are saying rioting and looting isn't the answer. It's not going to solve anything. And I want to let them know that I agree. But I want them to keep all this in mind. Because one of the reasons it took me a minute to actually come out and do this video is because I had to think. Because number one, I have 3 amazing young nephews. And that could easily be them. They could easily walk out of my sister's house one day and never come back. Simply because they were a black male. See, I hate to say it, but we as black women, yeah, there's cases with us too. You know, we have Sandra Bland and other cases, but we're losing our black men on a daily. And it's just so frightening and frustrating. And a lot of us with common sense knows that rioting and looting is not going to solve anything. It may intimidate them for a second, but all they're going to do is just bring in, the National Guard and implement martial law because they have the quote unquote law on their side. So we know that inevitably is not going to solve anything, and we're going to be the ones that's going to have to deal with the damage because we're the ones that frequent these stores that we're looting. Like in Atlanta, they took stuff out the Gucci and Louis Vuitton store, and they ransacked those stores. And I'm like, yeah, you're hitting them in the pockets. That's what the thing, that's what the end game's supposed to be is that, oh, we're going to hit them in the pockets so they ain't going to have no choice but to pay attention. But I'm like, let's be honest. A lot of us black people, not all, but a lot of us black people are so stuck in material things that we're the ones that mostly frequent Gucci, Louis, Prada. That's all we talk about. That's all we talk about on the gram and songs and all that. We always trying to floss, okay? Let's just be real. Because we as a culture, we like nice things. I mean, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but it's mostly us who fall into sporting them labels and things of that nature. Heck, we couldn't even stand behind a Gucci boycott when they put blackface on their ad. Okay? So, you're not really hurting Gucci's pockets because we inevitably are the ones who buy Gucci. You know, we got some people in our culture who spend their last on some Gucci. Let's just be real. And I love my people. And I just want you guys to listen to this whole video before you pass judgment and think that I'm not saying that we shouldn't riot. Because I understand the frustration because we don't know what else to do. And I'm saying that to say that it may not be right, but we've been through that. People with common sense know that it's not right, okay? I am from Detroit. I grew up listening to stories from my grandparents and my parents from the riots that happened here in the 60s, okay? And we're just now recovering. It's 2020. We're just now recovering to where people are starting to invest and put money back into the actual city, and we don't have to go out to the suburbs to, find a decent grocery store or find a decent place, a decent mall to shop or things of that nature, okay? We're just now starting to get those back into the city. I personally saw with the Rodney King verdict how it took LA a long time to rebuild, and how a lot of African Americans who owned small businesses lost their businesses or couldn't rebuild because they didn't have the money, or because the area was so burnt down that they knew that the money that they could use to rebuild, no one was going to come to that area to patronize their business. So we know that it doesn't work. We saw the aftermath and how it affects us as a people to riot. But when we acknowledge that and move forward and try to get out the vote, we get people like Diddy who was encouraging people to vote, like Vote or Die, and trying to change legislation like we're supposed to. We get stopped by voter suppression. I'm sorry, guys, itching. So voter suppression, and then we have people cheating, and you're not being able to vote because people are sabotaging votes and won't allow people to vote at the polls and things of that nature. So there's voter sabotage to change legislation. Okay. Boycotts don't seem to work because we as a people, and this is us as a people, we need to band together. When we're calling for a boycott, we need to stick to the boycott. So that's definitely us. But that's just another thing that's not working. Then, okay, so we're like, okay, we're going to change legislation, but we're faced with voter suppression and getting sabotaged anytime we try to vote. And then I told you the thing about the whole boycotting. We as a people don't stick to boycotts. So, now, what else did we do? We had Colin Kaepernick. He had a nonviolent protest. He just took a knee. And to this day, he can no longer play professional football. I've been myself involved in a couple of nonviolent protests here in the city of Detroit, nothing's happened. Okay, to change the things that are going on in regards to the injustice when it comes to African Americans. And nothing is happening. So we're doing nonviolent protests. We're trying to change legislation. We're trying to boycott, and nothing is changing. So we go back to what we started with, which is rioting and looting, and that's not happening either. That's not working either. So now my question is, where are our leaders to help guide us? Because we don't know what else to do. We've tried everything. We tried nonviolent protests. We tried changing legislation. We tried looting and rioting. Nothing is working. So I need to know, where are our leaders? And I'm not talking about these celebrities that they have to try to get us, quote unquote, in line, okay? I'm not talking about the T.I.s, the Killer Mikes, and all these so-called woke people. Because guess what? When white people have a problem, they don't have celebrities pandering to them about their issues, okay? They have government officials. They have leaders. Where are our leaders fighting for social justice to help us, to guide us? Because at this point, we don't know what to do. Because we've tried everything. So all I'm asking for is guidance. Because I know looting and burning up where we live is not the answer. But I also know that nonviolent protests and trying to change legislation has not worked either. So I, for one, am asking everyone, where's our leaders? And what is our end game with all this? Because it's just getting bad, going from bad to worse, y'all. And I don't know what else to do. So yeah, that's my piece on it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Till next time, y'all. Peace. And I do mean peace. Okay? Peace and love.